I'm going to start this for the second time. Um, I'm sharing a message in honor of my grandmother whose birthday was today. It is 12/12. She passed over a year ago now, and this is a message that she gave to me and asked that I share it at her services, which I did. And she made it clear that she wanted us to remember her on her birthday, and this is one way that I'm going to do that. So I will now read to you the message as it was given to me. Part of this is me speaking, and part of this is the message that she delivered. For those of you who don't know, Martha Edkin was my gram. I am speaking to you of what I saw and felt and understood as her grandchild. Gram took care of the babies. She sang lullabies. She prepared food, gave bottles, wiped noses, took walks, played cards, listened to music. She took care of Pap and all her children too. What I can tell you from my experience, I never had an interaction from my gram that did not make me feel loved and safe. As a child, I never heard her speak ill of anyone. I heard her raise her voice once that I remember, and that was in defense of me when I was sick. Maybe I should tell you that story from my adult perspective. I was in my early teens. My brothers and sister and I ate many supper, as they called it, meals with Gram and Pap. Even though I heard stories of my Pap being a good cook, my Gram always did the cooking, which I found funny. I was sick and couldn't eat my dinner. Pap insisted I stay in my seat at the table until I finished my food, which I couldn't do. I laid my head on the table and stayed there. When my Pap got up to go to the bathroom, he saw me with my head down on the table and began to yell. The only time I heard my Gram raise her voice was when she came into the kitchen and said, "Ludi, leave that girl alone. Can't you see she doesn't feel good?" Pap began crying instantly and left the room. At that time, Gram gave me the gift of feeling like I mattered. Someone cared about what I was experiencing. She also created the moment when I saw my Pap and all that he carried around with him. I now understood that Pap was very sensitive and had no idea how to manage his sensitivity. He was very hard on me because he saw the same sensitivity in me that he didn't like in himself. Gram was the necessary calm balance to his untamed, high reactive sensitivity. I learned so much that day that I would not make sense of until later. I must now speak to you about what you think is real. For those of you who were with Grammy at the hospital before I arrived, did you know that I had been in communication with her while she lay in that bed? I was tempted to come right away, but was told to stay out of it, not by any of you, but by Gram. I didn't understand that message until later. The world that is real and exists around us all the time is not perceivable by most of our eyes yet. There is so much happening that we aren't tuned into. Gram and I talked before I ever showed up in body at the hospital. I say this because some of her last communications with me were about forgiveness and understanding in a deeper, more complete way. My child understanding was that my Gram was as saintly as a person could be. I'm glad to have seen her this way because it allowed me to open my mind to who and what we truly are. We are the body of Christ. Not this human blood, bones, and flesh. We are brothers and sisters, all birthed from the same parents that are pure love, and that is what we are. We are pure love. We are love before the frailties of the mind tell us otherwise. Gram also showed us how easily our perceptions can be skewed. Sometimes she thought Uncle Jim was some other relation to her than her son. What an amazing gift. Her love for him so great, so complete, that she could see him as many things. She loved him, and the mind could no longer identify the nature of that love, but the love was never ending. She showed us in that relationship how jealousy and the workings of the human mind manipulate all areas of our lives. The truth is, we are all brothers and sisters birthed from love, and this body is a suit we wear, like a Halloween costume. We take on these labels and identities for a time and parade around in our fancy dresses until we decide to take them off and go on to the next experience. I apologize if this is hard for you, but the truth just is. Those of you who were present with me in the room with Graham, who were witness to moments when I became emotional, I will now tell you what she was telling me. In those moments, she was showing me the emotions and scripts playing out for you pertaining to her life and her passing. She was also helping me to understand the situation of her life and the connections to all life. She was showing me how we turn away from our feelings and we demonize them by being angry at ourselves for feeling the way we do. She told me that many have felt the burden of her condition these last many years and how angry they are at themselves for feeling negatively toward her because of it. She laughed and said they don't understand that I don't feel bad about them feeling burdened. I'm not upset about it. They need to forgive themselves. They need to see that what really matters is that I love them and they love me. They all show their love in different ways and cannot compare or judge each other by it. They don't understand how to embrace what is real and let go of the rest. She told me she was waiting for something, and I asked that I let her know when it was 12:12. I thought she was going to be funny and leave on her birthday time, but it came and went and her body continued to breathe. I still don't know why she asked me to tell her when it was 12:12. Maybe that will be revealed later. My tears were in sadness for my shortcomings and in gratitude that she told me those faults that I perceived were only imaginings of a twisted mind that momentarily forgot what was real, who I really am as a child of love. Her experience with losing touch with what many think is reality was all about showing us what we couldn't see, though a doctor will tell you something different. She refused to pass when the ventilator came out because she wanted us to know that doctors are fallible and we need to trust our own guidance. She waited for just the right time, though I don't know what was important in that moment. It wasn't for me. Maybe one of you knows why that was the moment that was perfect for her complete departure. As I got dressed the morning after her passing, I was thinking about her, and she was with me. She said, "Remember me on my birthday." Then she showed me what that meant. She meant get yourself a treat, a donut, a cupcake, and think of me while you're enjoying it. Know that when you do this, I am experiencing it with you and we are together. She showed me images of riding bikes and taking walks in the sunshine. She said, think of me when you're doing these things and you share those experiences with me and we are together. She then showed me the connection between this request and the Last Supper, communion. We don't have to go to the grave of a loved one, but if that brings you joy, then do that. We just need to remember them in times of joy to keep the love alive. It is the love that we truly are that is eternal. It is without end, and it will be forevermore. Thank you, Grammy, for all your wisdom. I'm so happy to walk with you. So today, on 12/12, in honor of my Gram, I am sharing her message with the world again. Today, I still affirm that this is absolutely true. There is great wisdom in this message that she imparted to me. It is divine truth. that knows not space and time. It is, will always be, as are we. In peace and love, may you be blessed.